Hello and welcome to Bunto Silent Dogfight, episode number 18B, the Bodyfat Redo Hangout. My special guest tonight is the wonderful Keefees the ELITE Hunter. And as per usual, we will open up the room to participants after the discussion. Thanks. I'm your host, Bunto Skiffler. Let me quickly explain what happened to yesterday's hangout that caved in. I just obtained a webcam and decided to I was going to do a solo show because I didn't have an interview guest. So I rigged the thing up solo and dived into the show. In about 40 minutes in, I looked up at the outside chat and I got a message from Brother John, Brojo, that said no audio. So I looked in, of course, my mic was unplugged. So, I quickly dovetailed into capping what I was talking about, opened the show up to participants. And anyway, I don't think that many people were watching. So I decided that better yet, just redo the whole nutrition hangout. Not so much for telling you all the information that I know about nutrition, which is, nominal, but mainly for telling you why I started my nutrition odyssey. And I knew, apparently I'm better with somebody in the room when I'm doing the silent dogfight. So I was blessed and lucky enough to ask Keefees if he'd like to participate, and he agreed to help me. How are you doing, Keefees? Welcome to the show.
Thank you, man. Doing awesome. How about you, man?
I've been doing okay. You showed up. That was a big plus. All right, let me give you a backstory on a nutshell on our my friend Keefees, who's helping me. He's located in Western Canada. He's a young single man whose interest is in hip-hop culture, world events, and especially the great debate community. How you doing, Keefees? You having a good day?
Yeah, boy. I
All right.
am, man.
Everybody wants to know, how long have you been on G Plus, Keefees?
Not that long. Probably like 3 months or so tops. But then again, I haven't really been keeping track of it, so forgive me if I'm off.
All right. How did you get involved?
I got involved because I wanted to challenge that dude G-Man to a rap battle because he kept bugging the Amazing Atheist to rap battle him. And then the Amazing Atheist kept refusing. I was like, come on, I want to see this happen to the Drunken Peasants. Shoot, I'll even rap battle on TJ's behalf. But it never happened, and instead I just got involved with all this shit.
All right. So how did you start watching the Drunken Peasants show? How did you start doing that?
Started doing that because something actually happened in my life that caused me to question my own faith. So I started looking at atheist videos and all that, and I kind of just stumbled upon it. It's like, hey, this is kind of funny.
All right.
Yeah.
So you're into YouTube before?
Yeah, I've been on YouTube for a while, man.
Okay. What kind of videos were you making?
I was doing everything from like my old channel. I was doing everything from like video game playthroughs to like small animations and then random stuff.
Okay. And then atheism. I mean, how did that come about? I mean, you saw G-Man.
Yeah, I watched the Drunken Peasants podcast, right?
Okay.
Yeah, I saw that shit, and I was like, one of the episodes was them featuring G-Man, and they called him like the worst rapper ever or something. And they showed off one of his songs, and every now and then G-Man would actually appear as a guest on their show. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna search up this G-Man for myself. And sure enough, I found the channel. I was like, holy crap, he actually exists. And then I was like, you know what? He keeps bugging TJ to rap battle him. I'll rap battle him on the show. Then he'll get me some views as well because I was still trying to start up a channel back then.
Right. Okay. G-Man doesn't like atheists, but you do.
Wow. Yeah, I don't mind him. I mean, what's there not to like about him, man? They're just people.
All right. So have you ever talked with G-Man?
Yeah, I've
How did
been
it go?
on. I've been on like his G-Man versus the World Hangouts a few times. It went pretty decent. I mean, there were some moments that were not too good. I mean, where I started yelling at him because he was using no true Scotsman fallacy too much. But other times we got along quite well. At first, he didn't know what to think of me because of my voice and everything.
All
And
right. Let's talk about that
yeah,
real quick. The voice.
yeah.
People. What are people's first impression about the voice?
People's first impression about the voice is, well, around here, people's first impression is that I'm somebody else on the community. People think that I'm somebody that was on the community for a long time, and that this is just some troll account that one of the people that they already know has made.
Right.
So I was accused of being everybody from Bro Joe to like other people.
Other people, and then you finally had to say, "No, I'm a real person."
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
They figured it out like after a while. It's taking the whole community a little bit longer than usual, I think.
Okay, well, let me
Yeah.
ask you this, Keefees. How did you make the jump from like, okay, you wanted, okay, you just, what was your first hangout? Really, that's what I'm getting at.
Okay, my first hangout was a G-Man hangout.
All
Cause
right,
like a
that makes
challenge,
sense.
I just entered the room not knowing nothing about the great debate community, and I was just waiting for my chance to talk so I can rap battle him and challenge him on the drunken peasants and everything. Didn't go
Well,
as planned. People were like, "Who the heck is this person?" And when the live show portion was over, I just got involved with some smaller hangouts. Didn't like them too much. And then I found all you guys, and you guys were pretty cool. It's like, yeah, this is more my crowd.
all right, okay, the great debate community. Um,
Yeah,
okay,
all
what's your
about that
impression
shit.
of it on the whole?
The great debate community. You know,
Is there two sides, or is
it's
just a bunch of
cool.
people in
It's
your
cool
life?
from the outside. It gets kind of weird when you're on the inside of it. I mean, let's put it this way. There's two sides to it, right? You got like the atheists and the theists, right?
Okay.
But you also got like this other side where it's like the moderate crowd, where no one really cares what you believe. It's just about hanging out.
All right. Well, how about the people sitting in the audience just watching the train wrecks, the lulls?
People sitting in the audience, and I probably sympathize with them the most because I'm right there with them in a lot of ways.
Okay. So are you a hardcore theist?
Ah, boy, I'm basically a heretic.
Oh, okay. So you're liberal and the other fundamentalists.
Yeah, I'm not a fundy.
Okay. Do they give you heck for that for your position, or just
Oh,
they don't know what to make of you so
they
far?
really don't know what to make of me. I mean, I don't think they know I'm not a fundy because I mean I've hung out with people like Rand Campbell and all that, and they're
Right.
pretty cool with me. And he seems to insist that everybody that hangs out with him is a fundy.
All right. Okay. So you have made friends.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So who are some of your friends that you've made?
Well, probably Christian anarchist is definitely one of them. Lyrics used to be one of them, but he quit doing the thing for a while.
He's kind of cooling off. What about Benny?
Benny is a little bit too mysterious for my type in order to actually be really, really good friends. But
But he's an
yeah,
acquaintance. I guess between acquaintance
yeah,
friends
he's
and
a,
Jesus.
not that much. I haven't talked to him all that much, really. I'm probably better friends with Christian anarchist. I think what's his face? Absolute atheism sometimes. Um, I'm really trying to think of the name right now. Shit, what's
Well,
that
how
guy's
about
name?
this? What if I asked you this? Okay,
Right,
you're oh,
Simon
Simon.
Bells.
Yes, he's a good guy from Britain, definitely.
Yeah,
Okay, we have people like Veckel.
and Dusty Dustmeister.
Oh yeah, Dusty, the voice, the
Yeah,
microphone. Yes. Okay, let me ask you this about African American representation on the whole.
yeah,
What do you think? I
yeah.
mean, you feel there's proper representation or not enough?
Yeah, man, you got the Black Brothers in here. I think there's proper representation. You got like enough for all sides. I think
Okay, I'll say this: that
maybe you're
G-Man.
lacking a bit of black representation on the non-theist side. I will say that.
Oh, okay, that's
That
interesting.
you need
Okay,
more black atheists, in my opinion. Just if you want to round out the edges.
okay, I will look at people like maybe Joseph, a chocolate rainbow. Okay, listen, I would say that the top of the pinnacle, the pyramid here at the Great Debate Community is G-Man, an African American. So I
Yeah,
mean,
so what? We
we
got a black president. Doesn't mean all the black stuff is
all
this guy.
right. Okay, please explain that to me. Why is it that unique for us? I think
And
I think it's
second of all, I also got to remember I come from Canada, and we still have a white guy for a prime minister. So
right. Okay, but don't you think it's cool that the top of the pyramid here is an African American?
Yeah, but color's not everything. I mean, this is G-Man we're talking about. I don't know why
Okay,
he's the
so
talking
you
opinion
don't look
over
at color
everybody.
necessarily. You look at his position.
Nah, man. I mean, color's cool and everything, but I mean, regardless of your color,
But I mean, but look, he's a rapper too. I mean, isn't that intriguing for the great debate community?
he's a rapper, but he's not a really good rapper.
All right, Keefees.
Shit,
Okay.
man. I mean, it's one thing when you're trying your best and hardest to rap and everything, and you're like trying to get in the mood and that. It's quite another thing when all you're doing is just saying the words. It's more than just saying words that rhyme. You actually
I'll
have to
remember that.
get a
Okay,
flow and everything.
if I ever run into him. Okay,
I mean,
well, let me
seriously,
tell you,
you've seen his first song, right? The Atheist Owned.
I really haven't seen much of his rap work.
Okay, where he's like, "Hello, everybody. I'm not feeling kind of sour, preaching to these atheists, preaching to the choir, kind of thing." And he's talking the words. He's like, "Hello, everybody. I'm not feeling kind of sour." I was like, "No, you're supposed to be aggressive."
Oh, you kind of broke up there, Keefees. Well, okay, his rap thing needs work, basically, right? His rap endeavors. Oh, he's muted.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, well, I mean, fair enough. Well, what's interesting to me is like this. I am a Native American, and I really don't think there's that many, maybe one or two more, Eamon and Cerebus, who are also Native American representation in the great debate community. So I think, it would be interesting if the top of the pyramid was a Native American here.
yeah. It would be.
And also LGBT, and there's not that many LGBT either. But I do think you do have a point as far as well. Let me think. As far as atheist representation, black atheists. I mean, we have Wolf King, we have Chocolate Rainbow. I mean, there's a few
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like they don't nowhere near have the status of the black
of the black
theists around here.
theists. Right. Okay.
Like there's
Oh.
something lacking. They're not on that level.
Well, I'll tell you something that's interesting. We have a lot of Canadians in the community, tons.
Really? I thought a lot of these people are American.
No, I really think it was. Well, it seems to me that we're always tripping over a lot of Canadians.
Yay, we're taking over finally.
Right. Okay. So, you're buddying up with Rancam, or I mean, you have a dialogue with
Well,
him?
I've had dialogue with him. I wouldn't say buddying up with him. I never joined his Ranism group or nothing.
Okay. Was there a reason why you didn't join, or?
Yeah, like I said, I'm not really a fundy person.
I see. You look at them as fun. Well, I got thrown out of that community last week, ostensibly by, their fundamentalist viewpoint. So I could see where you're coming from.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, it's weird. It's like, I don't really have a clique around here. Because you can't call me one of the atheists, because I'm not. But I'm not one of the fundies Christians either.
okay. Well, I guess you could hang out with the Nadians and become a Nadian.
And I can't do that either.
Okay. Well, why not? Why can't you become a Nadian?
I tried going in that room before, and then I was like, no, this is not for me. Yep, it was fun.
Okay.
Bye.
Well, go ahead and just tell me what you thought of it. Could you extrapolate on that for a bit?
I don't know, just the conversations and all that, and some of the subjects they bring up is like, no, I'm out. This is weird.
Okay, what'd you think of Nadia?
Again, I was like, yeah, I don't even want to comment on that, man.
Did you know many transsexuals before Nadia?
Nope.
So she was pretty much your first transsexual encounter?
Yep. And I was like, oh, that's what they look like. Okay.
Well, I mean,
First time for everything.
did you realize that she was transsexual, or did you, take her at face value as a woman?
It took at face value as a man.
Oh, okay. So you right away you saw that it was a male.
Yeah, it's like, what the fuck's this man doing dressed up as a woman? And it's like,
Interesting.
oh, oops.
I would say, I've met people that, accept her as a woman right off face value, but right away you saw her as male.
Yeah. Trust me, I've been around a lot of chicks. That's not a chick.
Curious, what was the giveaway, Keefees?
Ah, man. It's just that little intuition thing inside you. It's like, no, this isn't.
This isn't right.
No, yeah, something's off.
Something's
Way off.
off. That's just, oh, well, how about this, Keeps? Have you met other trans women that you
Nope.
found agreeable? You haven't yet.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Well, I have met a few trans women here in the Great Debate community. In fact, I'd venture to say there's probably more trans women than LGBT. I've noticed.
Really?
Yes, curiously enough. Well,
Wow.
okay, let's go ahead and just dovetail to what your current endeavors are in the Great Debate community. Could you please tell our listeners what you've been up to?
Yep. Current endeavors trying to get my own channel on track. It's called Keefees the ELITE Hunter. Talk about everything from social commentary on everything from like gaming to pop culture to world events to news.
Okay.
It's just gonna be me sharing like my 2 cents worth. If something becomes big enough news on the internet, I'll cover it, kind of thing.
Is it going to be a solo show or are you going to have a sidekick?
I want to have somebody else helping me out, so it's not just me, but I can take it on all myself if I need to.
I tried it yesterday and it caved in. It's not as easy as it is trying to take it on all by yourself. Okay, well, you told me that you were working on a debate show format. Could you elaborate on that, please?
Yeah, that's on my other channel I made dedicated to just that. It's called the I'm Right, You're Wrong show channel.
All right. Please
Sort of
tell.
got inspired to make a separate channel by Deeper Than Dogma and all that, where they have a separate channel to run things.
Right. Okay. You like seeing people have debates?
Yeah,
Okay.
I like watching the professional ones more.
Okay. Well,
People like
give us a
Sam
description.
Harris versus William Lane Craig and all that.
I see the big heavy hitters going toe to
Hmm.
toe.
Yeah, I prefer watching them, and then I go to these debates, and it's like just a bunch of feels like everybody's just a bunch of kids squabbling and yelling over each other. There's nothing intellectual about this. So it's like if this is going to be the great debate community, the least I can do is actually provide a room where it's in proper debate format for crying out loud.
Right.
It's like what the
Okay.
fuck is this? This isn't debating.
Okay. You hear a lot of ad hominem and a lot of whining. Okay. Tell me who you think are some pretty good heavy hitters here in the great debate community. Any names?
No, there's no
No,
hitters.
nobody impresses you.
No,
Like
no.
Sokka, does Sokka ever impress you, or Ozymandias,
Don't
or
get me wrong, they're good. They're good people. I mean, I can be friends with them and everything, but it's like there's nothing that's really made me pause and go, "Oh," from any of them. No, it's always been the big people.
okay, well, okay, let's say you set up a debate between like me and Rancam. I mean, what's worthwhile in that? That
First of all, depends on what you're debating about.
oh, okay, so you have to have a subject. It's just not two people, jumping to the ring and seeing what the blast, we seeing what the fight is.
Hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
so who picks this? The subjects, you or they do?
Um, the opponents. If two people really want to have a debate with each other and they want like a civil one and they want a moderator that they can trust, then they can use my room. I
I
provide like a service to them.
so like Nephilim Free comes in and takes over the whole thing.
There's no taking over.
Okay, there's no
I
taking
make sure
over.
that won't happen.
Now, what I've noticed is like when Nephilim Free has his hangouts, you get in there and you start going back and
Well,
forth. And the
any
second,
debate like that's going to be one-sided because I hate to do this, but debates like that, it's like not necessarily anyone in particular, but whenever you have like one debate room where it's like one guy, like G-Man versus the world, for instance, right?
okay,
You do know that's basically an ego dick room, right?
all right,
They're basically stroking their big ego dick, showing how much they think they know and cutting people off. It's like, oh, it's my room. I can do what I want. And, you know,
right, kicking
kicking
people
people
out.
out and muting them and all that. Yeah. It's basically a room where the person running it can just stroke his big ego dick and show how awesome he is. And it's
Interesting.
like that doesn't give you any substance. It's like I don't even know why people participate in those rooms, to be honest.
Well, things
I mean,
that are going
I
on.
know, I do it just for entertainment, but don't expect any substance from anything like that because you're not going to get it.
Okay, now let me ask you this, Keefees. What is your incentive for these, the names coming into the room and participating? I mean, how are you going to get G-Man even in there? Even in
Shit,
Arcane Logos, how do you get those guys in there?
I've already had requests to get in there.
Oh, really? By who?
Basically, what I've been doing is I had a promotional video that I show everybody
Right.
to promote my room and the idea and how I want it to be run and everything. I got Dusty on board to help me moderate it.
Yes.
And what I've been doing is basically telling people about my room. And Christian anarchists already wanted to have a debate with G-Man over whether a Christian can still be a Christian and believe in evolution or not. So,
Okay, so that would be theist versus theist.
mm-hmm.
Okay, well, you'll have people that are not, so big names. I don't want to say, I'll say like the B-listers, okay? People like Christian anarchists, not so much A-listers. But are you aiming to get the A-listers in first, or are you just going to go with a bunch of B-listers?
I don't
You
care.
can see. You don't care.
B-listers, A-listers, doesn't matter to me.
Like,
I mean, A-listers would be nice for views, but again, I'm not necessarily doing it for views. It's a service.
it's a service. Okay, you're not doing it for views. Why not?
Why
People love
not?
arena battle.
Yeah, they want an arena battle, and if two people agree to it, it can happen. I'm not saying I won't ever get A-listers, but that's not the point.
Okay, so let's say you get Shamos versus me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we would have to have a polite and civil debate, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the second that I, sucker punch Shamos, I'm out of there, or what?
It's in proper debate format. So the way it works is that you build up your constructive arguments. So you get like a certain time limit for each person to talk.
Okay, time limits.
Yeah. So each person has their time to do like their constructive argument, and then there's a special rebuttal round, and then the person has their conclusion round.
I see. Okay, what happens? You have somebody who's like always interrupting, somebody who's always like,
It won't happen because you're supposed to mute while the other person's talking. And if you
oh, so you're gonna go ahead and physically mute the guy.
yeah.
All righty. Because our debates sometimes there's people talking over each other.
That's not gonna happen.
Okay.
Keefees don't tolerate that shit in his room.
Okay, you just don't like that when people talk over each other, interrupt.
Yeah. Because as much as the person who's talking over everybody thinks their opponent's an idiot, they usually don't realize how much of an idiot they're looking like by talking over the other dude.
Oh, okay. So you want to get the audience to have a fair view of the
exactly.
issue.
And in these debates, it seems like whoever's the loudest is whoever gets heard. So
right.
it's like that's not how it's supposed to be. The other person probably has something interesting to say. It's like now we'll never hear it because that person's muted and kicked out. And it's like, oh, okay, whatever.
Okay, last thing that crossed me out about this: what would earn somebody getting kicked out of the fight? I mean, like a Mike Tyson type bite the ear disqualification, or would you just warn them?
Well, I would warn them, probably give them like 3 strikes, you're out kind of thing.
Like, I'm telling you for the last time, G-Man, quit interrupting, right? Or something like that. Or stay on point.
Yep.
Now, there's all sorts of moves that a person can do to sync your hangout. You know that, Keefees. Like, what G-Man's notorious for is whenever it goes south on him, he'll show like a Cheerios box or some sort of product placement. And that will, of course, get the video yanked by the Google Plus authorities. Did you know that?
Mm-hmm.
So, just,
yeah,
I know you've been here for only 3 months, but there's all sorts of tricks that people use in order to get a video yanked.
Yeah, he pulls shit like that. Expect shit coming towards his way.
All right. Okay, this is the last thing before we'll go into the makeup redo. Okay, social commentary. It's important to you?
Yeah, sure is.
Well, okay, as a young man, why is that important to you?
Well, let's put it this way. I've watched channels like, the Young Turks and all that.
Okay.
They talk about that kind of stuff all the time. And that sort of appeals to me. So it's like, I almost kind of got inspired to do something like that from them.
I see. The Young Turks. Okay. If you start talking about social things, is it going to be all about how the USA is retarded, or is Canada going to be in the mix too?
Canada, man. You think we don't have our own retarded shit that happens here?
Okay, well, tell us. I mean, tell me one thing that is retarded in Canada. I don't know what it is.
Okay. Well, first of all, without going complete anarchist on your ass, Canada, let's put it this way. Now, don't get me wrong, and maybe it's just a bias thing because I live here, but Canada government compared to US government, way better. Just saying. You should move to Canada. It's not that bad. Please.
Sure.
But we do have our fair share of people that run for like political office and that do some stupid things.
Okay, well, let me give you, just from the thinking of our audience, here in America right now, we're going through a crisis of police shootings and law
Mhm.
enforcement. I mean, I don't see anything on that level coming from Canada. To
Yeah,
me, Canada
Canada
is sort
is
of like
more
Mary Poppins.
it's more funding based. See, Canada government, they're always trying to do what they can to get money, right?
I
So
didn't know that.
people around here, it's more about people complaining about things funding being cut or certain social programs and all that. It's more economic based around here, the problems.
Like, you guys aren't going to go Muslim, right? So religion's out of the picture.
Yeah, exactly. We're more liberal around here, man.
So what I'm thinking is, like, when you do your social comedy show, it's your social commentary show. It's going to be about, the USA, right? Our hijinks.
Yeah. Doesn't mean
Okay.
I won't ever talk about Canada, but yeah.
Or are you
It's
going to, definitely go global?
probably global, man.
Global. Oh, okay. How about this? People can go watch Young Turks and get social comedy there. Why don't you do social commentary about the great debate community?
I didn't
I
say
mean,
I
is that
wasn't going to
possible?
do that.
All right. Well, what do you think is just whack about the great debate community at this point, 3 months in?
I think the treatment that you get from both sides' rooms is different. Like if you're
Okay.
in a theist room, you're going to be treated a lot different than if you're in an atheist room. And people
Okay.
have heard me say this on a few hangouts. I think I mentioned this to Simon or something. The atheist rooms here feel a lot more tolerable, and I can feel a lot more like myself in those than in a theist room. And
Okay.
it's nothing
Theist.
against theists themselves or all theists in general. It's just the rooms that I've had experiences with. It's like after I've been in there for a while, I don't want any part of that again, kind of thing.
I see. Like, if you express doubts in a theist room, then you're on the clock, right? You're on your way out.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. But in an atheist room, you can,
Yeah,
cut jokes.
exactly.
And I see. So that's
And
one,
plus, not even that shit. When you first enter like the room, right? Atheist is like, yeah, welcome to the room. You're already broadcasted. You can start talking. They usually say hi and everything.
right.
Theist room, they treat you like a criminal. First time you come in, you're like unbroadcasted. You can't talk. It's like, who is this? Who is this?
Right.
You troll?
And the first
Who is
thing they
this? You
ask
gonna
you,
show
are you
porn? Who is this?
right? Are you a Christian?
Exactly. That's the first thing they ask you. They don't even care about who you are.
Are you a Christian? And then
Exactly.
I'll tell them, yeah, just to horse around with them. Okay. Well, that's, I wish you good luck in your new channel and your new endeavors, and I'm sure they're going to be wonderful.
Yeah, basically, whenever they ask me that question, are you a Christian? I'm like, I'm a Keefees. Next question.
Right. Next question. All right, Keefees, let me go ahead and quickly make up the first 40 minutes of yesterday's cave in. Just
Yeah, go
given,
ahead and do that.
okay, and I'll ask you some questions too along the way about fitness and your take.
Yeah, boy. I used to do a bunch of working out back when I was with my homies doing that, our fitness plans and that. One of them really wanted to get into shape because he felt he was fat and everything. And
Okay,
after doing what he did, wow, it made a huge improvement. Maybe it's just the
excellent,
genetics.
excellent. Okay, well, okay, let me extrapolate for about 5 minutes and I'll cue you in. Okay. I started out yesterday's hangout with an explanation of why I got into nutrition and fitness. And let me go ahead and recurse that. It started about 6 months ago, and physically, where I started uh, trying to get to lose my weight. I was up about 250 pounds and really thick. But actually, I would say mentally, it started a few months before then, about 3 or 4 months before then, because I met a person on the G Plus community that changed my life. Uh, this person was a combat Marine. This person I'll describe to you as like an alpha, and she does what she sets out to do. And so that really impressed me very much, so that I even wrote a book about her. Anyway, she was a combat Marine. And as soon as she got out of the Marines, she went ahead and began her transition to a preferred gender. And her latest thing that she's done is she's moved to Guam. And I remember when she first told me that, she was thinking about her trying to move to Guam. She really hit a setback at the beginning, but she went ahead and overcame it. And even today she is in Guam. So she's like a doer. And so in my mind, it's like very impressive, a person who says they're going to do something and they do it. And my personality type is that in a way I sort of get in competition with people that like that. Like she does something and then I said, I want to do something too. So in my case, it was me and her were doing one of our really long phone conversations, and we were just cruising on Google images, just looking at hot guys, right? And she came across this picture of a model who was, I would say, wiry, muscular. He was very lean, but not like Arnold Schwarzenegger muscularity, but he was very cut, right? He was a model, a white guy, of course, no hair. And she told me, I wish tonight I was with that guy. And in my mind, right at that point, I was like, I want to be that guy. So I decided, right. What I'm trying to say is whenever you're going to encounter some sort of weight loss endeavor, there's like, you have the decision to go in that direction, and then you have to build the momentum behind it. Don't you think so, Keefees?
Not in my situation.
Okay, well, how did your situation work out?
Well, my friends are like, hey, you want to go to the gym with us? And we're starting to do like this membership thing. It's like, okay. And then, yeah.
So friends, you had friends help support you.
Yeah. We
As
just
far
did
as
it for
getting in
fun.
shape.
And then they
Okay.
started to get a little more serious about it. And I was like, whatever. I'll still do it casually.
Excellent. Well, in my case, let me just keep extrapolating for a couple more minutes. I had to start activity because I had a really low activity level. All I really did was just do the computer. I write on the computer, do my memes, my artwork, and hang out in the Hangouts. I really wasn't very active. So at that point, I decided, there's two things I want to impress upon our listeners. There's two things that you can control when you look into fitness. You can control your intake, and then you can control your activity. And some of the advice that you'll see on YouTube, which is a very good source for dieting, is they'll say calories in, calories out. So in my case, it was intake and activity, and my intake was over the amount of activity that I did. So what I had to do was change that formula to where my activity was higher than my intake of food in order to lose weight. So I just started a basic activity of walking around the neighborhood. I increased that up to an hour's length of walking around the neighborhood. Did you ever try walking, Keefees?
Isn't that how you have to get from point A to point B anyhow?
Right, but for exercise.
I used to do something more extreme than just that.
Oh, go ahead.
You know, gotta be jogging or some shit.
Right. Well, think it from the viewpoint of somebody who's out of shape. Were you ever out of shape in your life? You're very young, probably never.
When I was very young, I was more a little out of shape, Middle school years, you're sitting down a lot more doing homework and that, so you don't have as much time to hang out and run around and shit.
I see. Well, right now in your life, like, how tall are you?
7 foot something.
You're 7 foot tall. All right. So you're quite impressive.
Yep.
How heavy are you?
I think like 100 and. It's been a while since I measured myself, actually.
Okay, can we say you're like thin as a rail?
Not super thin, though, man.
Okay, well, not super thin, but definite ectomorph.
Yeah.
All righty.
But I got muscle.
You got muscle. That's good. That's excellent.
But I'm
But
more of
not
the
very
wiry. I'm more of the wiry muscle type,
excellent. You really don't have a lot of body fat. You're very low body fat
No.
percentage. Well, in my case, I had like over 25% body fat, so I was chubby. Your friends, are any of them chubby?
Yeah, the one that really wanted to do workouts, he was pretty chubby, but he kept to it, and he's able to turn that body fat into like a good 6 pack.
Right. He started gaining muscle and losing fat.
Yeah, boy.
Right. Okay, so in my case, I started the activity of walking, and
Cool. Keep at it.
I also a major step in any sort of weight loss was buying a scale. So I got a really good digital scale from Amazon for like $30. And when you're out of weight, Keefees, there's a fear of stepping on a scale, right? but
Yeah,
you
but it
have
never
to.
really crossed my mind.
Right, not at this. You've never had that experience, but you can imagine for people that are way out of shape and obese, they have an
Right.
aversion to seeing what
Step
the
on that
truth is.
scale. It's like, yeah, how much did I lose? You look at it. Ah, fuck.
Right. Well, in my case, okay, first you have the scale. You want to step on it to measure your progress. And then also to build upon your progress, I also use Google Docs, the spreadsheet, and just you can obsessively measure yourself on the scale every day, Keefees, but I only measured myself on Mondays, took it seriously. Monday weigh in. And then I wrote that down on the spreadsheet. And then as Mondays went by, I could see my progress of losing weight.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Just curious, Keefees, have you ever been on a diet?
No, man.
I can imagine you have never been. Why
What's the
not?
fun of dieting, man? Shit.
Okay, well, what's the fun of eating right?
What's the fun of eating right? Serious? There's some good food, man. You got like grapes, you got like apples, you got like oranges, you got like bananas.
Okay, what about Hostess cupcakes and greasy pizzas?
They taste good
Uh,
too, but you don't eat them every day.
okay, you don't eat them every day.
No,
Fast
man.
food, soda pops. Do you drink a
Yeah,
lot of
man.
soda?
Again, you don't eat that every day. You limit yourself to like what? One day a week, maybe?
Okay, one day a week. That's pretty. That's pretty drastic for some people. Okay,
Not for me.
all right. Okay, were you ever into drinking soda pop every day?
Well, back in high school, I used to eat a lot more bad food than that.
Okay, so how did you get back into eating right? I
Well,
mean,
because, my parents are like, if you're going to do like this move out shit, you can't just be eating crap all the time. So it's like, you got to learn to take care of yourself. Because you
okay.
don't want to go to like don't want to go to like my house when I move out and find me like dead at like 25 and with a bunch of pizza surrounding me. So I'm like, oh
Okay.
shit, better start eating some good food. There you go. Boom.
Well, let me ask you this, Keefees. Since you're so tall, I mean, weren't you expected to play in sports?
Yeah.
I mean, did that contribute to, keeping a healthy lifestyle? I mean,
Yeah.
did you play basketball?
Yeah. I did, man. Back in elementary.
Oh, but you didn't play in high school?
Nah.
All right, 7 foot
Sports
tall.
weren't really my thing.
Okay, well, let me get back to okay, so I started activity, started weighing myself, started losing the pounds. And then one day, Keefees, I was like laying in my bed, playing my solitaire game on my Android. And on the app there, it has commercials, before you play each game.
Okay.
And it gave me a commercial saying, if you join Anytime Fitness, they'll waive the entry fee. And
Mm.
then there, sure enough, a mile down the road is the high school, right? Leander High School. And across from it's Anytime Fitness.
Alright.
So I went down there and sure enough signed up.
Okay.
Okay, so when you sign up for the gym with your friends, I mean, you weren't alone, so you weren't kind of, uncomfortable and feeling, scared, right? You had your
No,
friends
man.
there to work out.
Yeah, I got my friends there. What's worse gonna happen, man?
Okay, what would have happened if you had just done it yourself? Would you have been nervous?
Not really.
Okay, why not?
Cause I'm Keefees.
Okay, well, what about people who are not keefies who would get nervous if they're just by themselves? What advice would you offer
If I should offer them, go with some friends.
them? Okay, how about keefies? Yeah, I know I'm notorious at this, but let's say they don't have any friends. I mean, what advice could you tell them to just?
Get some
What are the
friends, man.
benefits of the gym? Get some friends, right?
Yeah, man. It's not
Okay,
that hard. Just walk up, say, hey, what's up? Wanna be friends, man?
right. How about this, keefies? People that need to accomplish things in their life.
Hmm.
Like in my case, I had a friend who was doing what she was doing things that she set out to do, right? And I decided to imitate her, right? I guess,
Yeah.
kind of idolize her.
Was
So
she
in my
hot?
case, well, yeah, I, I, what makes her hot to me is just her persona. Okay,
What
but
she
how
look
about
like?
this, Keefees? Well,
Sorry.
you can look it up. Anyway, Keefees, what I want to impress upon you is that for some
Alright.
people who don't have friends,
Oh.
they need to have that feeling of accomplishing something in their life, right? That's
Yeah.
something they can bank on.
Yeah.
And to accomplish it, in this case, for losing weight, was the gym.
Okay.
All right, so let's talk about gym experiences. I'll give you a chance to talk. What's your favorite thing to do at the gym?
Wow, there's a lot of different things I like to do. Shit, I think the cardio stuff is like really fun, but I also like to do strength training as well. So I mean, you got like your, you know, weights like doing curls and what are those things called?
Curls,
Bench
dumbbells,
press,
bench press. Do you have the
mm,
machines there?
deadlifts.
TRX straps, right?
Yeah. There's like this
Okay,
other machine, like that leg press. I think it's called.
right. Leg extension, leg press.
Yeah,
Okay, Keefees.
I was pretty good
Um,
at that.
at 7 foot tall, you're used to attracting attention.
Yeah,
Okay, so how does that work at the gym? People are you get used to the people staring at you,
they look at me every now and then. It's like, what?
right? I mean, have you met any other basketballers at the gym?
No, I mean, apart from my friends, I usually don't talk to people I don't know.
Okay, well, why don't you socialize at the gym? I do,
I do socialize just with my buddies, man.
but not any of the other people at the gym.
I mean, I will like casually, but I mean, not like I'm gonna make a bunch of friends there.
What I do is I ask them, I look at other similar body types. Okay, in my case, I'm 6'2", and right now I'm under 200 pounds. So I'm 50 years old. So I look at other people in my
In my
age
opinion,
range.
that could be one of the worst things you can do.
What, looking at other people?
Start comparing yourself to others. You're like, oh, I'll never be as good as this dude over here, Joe Muscle. Well, it's like you're not Joe Muscle. You're Bunto. You have to work on what you can do.
Well, the similar body type will at least give you a picture of where you're going at.
Yeah, but I always find that sometimes if you do the comparing thing, it just gets you down.
Oh, really? So you have very high expectations?
Well, if you start doing the comparing thing, I mean, in the beginning, it's like, oh shit, not quite as good as my friend over here. But I talked to my friend about it, and he's like, you know what? Don't worry about what I'm doing. Just do what you can do. And it's like, okay,
Okay. Were you
yeah.
discouraged when you first started going to the gym?
Well, yeah, because I suck shit.
Okay. All right. So how did you avoid quitting?
It was really tough at first because I got to a point where I couldn't advance past like size 15 dumbbells, and I was like, this is stupid. But then I started trying what my friends were doing, which is like protein powder and all that. And then you
Right.
can also
Supplements.
balance your diet as well, like your food.
Okay.
So make sure you actually have enough protein in you, then you can do it.
Truly.
But I found out I was trying to do all this shit while, eating nothing but pizza and all that.
Right. Very good point. Okay. Well,
Even
let me
though it
ask you
didn't
this.
make me fat, it didn't make me any stronger either.
Truly. Okay. So you're very cognizant of your diet now to make sure you get enough protein and not so much fats and carbs, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Did any of your friends drop out of the gym or did you all manage to stay together?
I had a friend that dropped out.
Okay.
He just
Why do you
kept
think he
going.
dropped out?
Probably dropped out because he's a wuss.
Okay. Well,
Because he couldn't
Kiwi,
keep up with the rest of us.
if you could, did he tell you that or did he just drop out?
Well, he complained about how it was hard, and it took him forever to do the stuff that we were doing, and he was like stuck on like size 10s for like about a week. And then I can only imagine what he's thinking in his mind.
Did you ever feel like, helping him, supporting him, or you just
Yeah, I
went ahead and,
supported him, man, but he wasn't
okay.
having it. I guess
All
he,
right.
he was just ashamed, and I guess he thought that everybody was looking at him weird, and yeah.
Okay. So there
He
was
didn't,
some peer pressure there.
yeah, and some of my friends made fun of him, and that was probably enough for him to quit going.
Well, shoot. Well, maybe that's, to tell our listeners, maybe that's the reason just to go by yourself to the gym. Maybe you could avoid some peer pressure.
Yeah,
Um, what about, okay, are you looking at the women at the gym too when you go?
yeah, boy, you know me, Keefees, man.
Okay,
Of
so
course
what
I
do you
am.
notice? Okay, what else are you doing? You're watching TV at the gym and you're just talking with your friends, just general social. What is to the gym besides getting your body into shape?
Probably competing with my friends.
Okay, you like the
See who can lift the
competition.
most weight. Yeah.
Okay, when you're looking at the gym, what do you look? When you're looking at women at the gym, what are you looking at?
Their body, man. You know,
Right.
got nice abs. Sometimes they're wearing those nice sports bikinis type things. Sports
Okay.
bra.
How about this, Keefees? Do you admire the work that they put into getting fit?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. I mean, you just tell them, hey, you're looking good. Support
Yeah,
their endeavors.
yeah, of course, man.
Okay. I
Make it
do
to
that
your
too.
body sometimes.
I try to be supportive to others at the gym, give them encouragement. And I
Mhm.
also try to watch other people's workouts so I can learn things that they're doing.
Sometimes I try to make them laugh, then maybe they might want to have my number.
Oh, okay. So you're trying to hook up at the gym.
Yeah,
Any success?
yeah,
All
happened two
right.
times.
So you're getting a lot of value out of your gym,
Yeah, make the most of your day, man.
right? Oh, how often do you go to the gym?
Not as much anymore.
Well,
Like,
why not if you're getting stuff out of it?
well, I mean, I got to the point where my friends they just kind of quit going, and then it became not so fun anymore without them.
Oh, okay. So you need your friends to have a good time at the gym.
Yeah, I just kind of lacked some motivation. Your boy kind of got a little lazy.
All right. Okay. Could you go to the gym by yourself?
Yeah, shoot, I could. Will I? Probably not,
Why not, Keefees?
cause friends aren't there. Not fun.
All right.
It's boring. Still do it, but it's kind of boring.
The important part of the gym are your own gains or not.
Important part of the gym is to get fit, man.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
How's that?
So let me see. Anyway, so I started working out at the gym. I started throwing off a lot of weight, and I went from 250 now to 198. So I threw off about 50 pounds.
Whoa, good
And,
job, man.
right, over 50 pounds. And now
Whoa.
I'm okay. When you start one diet, your next diet, you've learned so much from your first, you can do things better. So I'm starting another diet.
Hmm.
Of course, when you start losing weight at the onset, you're going to have months where you lose like 12 pounds, right, or even more. But you slowly start coming, less and less poundage a month, and because you're putting on muscle, right, Keefees? You go
Yeah,
down,
that muscle, man.
right. So right now, at my latest diet, I'm just try losing a pound a week so I can retain my muscle.
All right.
Okay, and what my real goal now is trying to lose body fat, trying to get more
Uh,
cut.
well, if you want to lose body fat, cardio is going to be more of your friend than the whole strength thing.
Okay, go ahead and tell our listeners why.
Well, let's put it this way. I think I mentioned this before, right? Remember how I told you about how there's two types of what was that? Two types of being unfit,
Okay, go ahead and tell us.
and one of them is the fatso type, and the other one is the shrimp type.
Okay, you have the overnourished and then
Yeah,
you have the undernourished.
exactly.
Okay,
And now, what in my situation back when I was in high school and shit, my situation was the shrimp type, where I
okay.
was like really skinny, and people always say, "Oh, you don't have any muscles. You're a wimp, and you're a wuss, and all that."
You're undernourished.
Exactly. Then people are like, "You got to pack on the pounds." So in that
Bulk
case,
up.
you want to eat more. You want to try to get like a lot of protein in you, and you want to try to do strength training because you don't want to turn it all into fat. You want it to turn it all into muscle.
Correct.
And in the end result, you're not necessarily you're not necessarily aiming for, let's say, like super bodybuilder in the end. You just want to make sure you actually have some meat on your bones
Truly.
so you look like a man.
Okay.
Now when you're the fatso type, you're all fat and everything, you're trying to lose that weight. So naturally, that's where you want to diet, and then you want to do more cardio, so you're actually burning that fat and everything. So your
True.
end result, you're actually trying to be more skinny and toned.
All right. So cardio comes in as a plus. Well, let me just do a quick sidetrack, if I may. We have an interesting person in our community who chooses to gain weight on purpose. And I guess we can name his name. His name is Kazoom. And I showed you a video of his the other night.
Oh,
Um,
I remember that, dude. Yeah.
right. Okay. Could you just explain in a nutshell the pitfalls of wanting to be out of shape in that fashion?
First of all, why would you want to be out of shape?
Okay, why would you want to be out of shape?
Like I don't think anybody wants to be out of shape. You just kind of wake up and you look at yourself and you're like, oh shit.
Right. Okay, in his case, he woke up and he wants to continue that lifestyle. Um,
Well, there's a difference you wanting to continue a lifestyle and then saying I want to be unfit. I mean, you can always wake up and say, oh, I wish I looked different, but you know what? This lifestyle is the easiest for me, right?
I see. Right. Okay, you don't mind working to get your body better.
Isn't that the whole point?
That is the whole point. Okay,
Exactly.
why work to make your body more unhealthy?
Exactly, man. That's why I say I don't think it's anybody wants to be unhealthy. It's just that they don't want to stop their lifestyle because they've gotten so used to it.
Yes, that's a good point, Keefees. All righty.
That's why when you said that statement, it's like that statement doesn't really make too much sense in my mind. Like you'd have to be really psychotic to actually say, "Yeah, I like being unhealthy," you know?
Right. That's a very good point. It's a sad, but it's a true point. Okay, Keefees, the alcoholic or the substance abuser, we realize that that is a lifestyle choice. Can I characterize it as that?
Yeah.
That we in our society encourage to do a more healthier, better lifestyle choice. That we have those options, right? We can go to rehab, we can go to Alcoholics Anonymous to quit, you know, those
Hmm.
bad lifestyles. And then, you know, we have the gym too, a place where you can, you know, better your, there's a resource there. That's what I'm trying to say, Kiwis. There's a resource there of trying to improve your life.
That's right.
Right. Um, I guess the point is like to any of our listeners who fear that, you know, that they're too scared. Like, how can I say this, Keefe's? That they're fearful of making that decision to better their life. All I can say to you is that it has changed my life for the better. You know, it's
Yeah,
a good
it
choice
gets
to me.
better, man. Like, don't think of all the negatives. Like you say, oh, I have to get up and work out and all that. Just think about what's gonna be like after you do all that stuff, man.
Right. You put those Mondays, so many Mondays behind you. You get so much momentum
Exactly.
that you
Like it's
just
all worth it in the end. It's called
it's all worth it.
perseverance. You keep
Right.
on just doing what you do.
Okay. Okay. How about this? We'll just go ahead and we'll cap the discussion. We'll open up the room to participants. But I guess the key would be key fees, just starting some activity, right? Either walking around a neighborhood, some sort of uh, aerobic type. You know, aerobic
Yeah,
gets the image of something, but just something that is active.
something. Start walking, I'd say, because that's
Bike
like the
riding,
easiest thing you can do. Yeah, bike riding, jogging, and all that. If you want to get more into stuff, do some sort of sport.
swimming,
I mean, doesn't hurt if you're like a hot lady, start doing some dancing.
dancing,
Yeah,
hiking. I'm all for that too.
mm, that's right.
Okay, well, let's say we're aiming at young people's key fees.
Yeah,
Let's talk
yeah,
about
yeah.
dancing and hip hop. There's a lot of activity there, right? Hip hop.
Yeah, shoot, around here it's actually recommended that you start, learn how to dance or something because we have a few dance studios in town.
Okay. Are there a lot of young people joining?
Yeah, exactly. It's like they're kind of encouraged to do something. And even if it's not hip hop dance, the dance studios usually offer stuff like jazz and ballet and all that.
Okay. Okay, when you do your music, do you ever think about its danceability, or you just think about the rhythm, or what?
Well, I like to do more of the gangsta stuff, but
Gangster.
I got my nigga Trill, and he likes to do more dance stuff. So after he writes his serious album that he's working on, he's gonna be working on mostly dance tracks.
Right. Okay.
You
I mean,
know,
let's.
like he's kind of headed in the style of dudes like Smoothie Baby and D Mac and all them.
Oh, DMAC. Yes, I saw one of those videos the other day. Okay, well, let me ask you this, Keefies. Gym music. I mean, in our gym, it's kind of lame, but you know, if I say something, he'll change it to a rock station. I mean, what do you think of gym music? It's pretty lame.
That's why I usually bring your own iPod.
Right. Everybody at the gym has their iPod on.
or in my case, MP3 player.
MP3 player. So
Just keep
if
that
you
on
had your own
PC.
gym, you'd have a good sound system playing over some hip hop, D-Mac,
Whatever I want to listen to at the time. I mean,
right?
usually the thing is I'm not paying attention to music. I'm just trying to work out. So I mean,
Oh, serious? Yeah, that's true.
MP3 player is not really something I bring. I just kind of work with whatever. It doesn't
The
really.
only, the only thing, the only reason I bring that because I work out 5 times a week, and then when you hear the same song 5 times a week, it's sort of like you wish there was other music to listen to.
That's still. I'm usually with my friends, so usually my friends drown it out.
Right. Well, thank you for helping me out with this part of the redo hangout. What I like to do now, Keefees, I'm
No
going to go ahead.
problem, man.
Thank you very much. I'd like to open up the room to participants, so I'm going to take a quick 5-minute break here while I send out invites. Could you please
Ah,
stay, Keefees?
okay. Please, what?
Could you please stay, hang out?
What do you want me to do?
Oh, just hang out and greet them when they come in. I'll be back in a few minutes. Thanks.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was fun. This has been your boy Keefees, and right now your host, dude Bunto. He's just sending out invites. So you guys can come and participate in the room. And if you have any questions, you can ask him or me. I'm not an expert on fitness, but I can try my best to answer your questions. And yeah. So while he's doing that, I'm just going to stay put right here. When you guys come in, please be respectful, by the way. You know? Because I know that some hangouts around here can get nasty, but not every single hangout needs to be a big yelling over top of each other thing. I mean, come on. I know we're the great debate community, but we can act a little more civilized. Hey, look who it is. It's Brojo.
Yo, Keepees, what's up?
What's up, man? What's up? Man, if you were like, this is like a real room and we're like live, I'd probably go over there and give you my proper homie handshake.
All right,
What's going on, man?
let's do the handshake. What would you do?
What?
Do the handshake. What would you do?
I don't know. You have to like the fist bump and then give me some skin kind of thing.
Right? Fist bump, bring the hand up, kind of
Yeah.
elbow touch.
Yeah, exactly,
Back
man.
to back.
Yeah.
Kel, I know Bunto went and took a break. So caught the tail end of the hangout.
Hmm.
Talking
So,
about working out, huh?
did you take anything away from this hangout?
Not really.
No?
Nothing. No,
Oh.
nothing that I haven't heard before.
Hey
But
there, Lindsay. We got another viewer.
mm,
Another person in the call, I mean.
I kind of relate about going to the gym thing because you feel like intimidated. Some people won't go because they feel intimidated, and I
Well,
mean,
like I
like,
said, go with some friends. We mentioned that on the show.
dude, I'm like freaking isolated here, and my friends are scattered, so
Uh,
and where I'm at, I don't get to see many people till it's either
that's
on the
okay.
weekend.
A lot of my day ones have ditched me too. Ever since I moved here.
But
So,
I gotta get
hey, what's
yeah,
going on?
Lindsay, yeah, Frank.
I hear you're from Canada, Keith. Your
Yeah.
house.
He's lying. He's not from Canada.
Nah, I'm from Canada, man.
From
What are you talking about?
Arkansas. Come on, can you tell the accent?
No, I'm not.
What?
No,
He's from Arkansas. You can't tell the accent?
I don't understand. Are you from Canada or not?
I'm from Canada.
No, he's from
Tell me.
Arkansas. He's from Arkansas.
Who are you gonna believe? This person just randomly came in the room, or me and Bunto that said like a
What
million times
province
that I'm
are
from
you from?
Canada. From British Columbia, man.
Cool. I'm in Alberta. I'm your neighbor.
Yay! Awesome.
Yeah, Alberta's NDP now.
Oh.
Alberta's what?
NDP,
What's that mean?
New Democratic Party.
Oh man, you don't know Canadian politics.
No, I do not.
You gotta that shit.
I'm fed up with the state's politics. I don't hardly follow that.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
nothing like the States. Our conservatives are your liberals.
Your conservative, like our conservatives are your liberals?
No, our conservatives are your liberals.
Wow. What's your liberals like, for God's sake?
Did you just say our conservatives are like your nipples?
So what are
Hey,
your
John,
liberals like? Lindsay?
where you are, do you have like the outdoor gyms that they have?
No, you. I don't think you understood my question.
Oh, I didn't hear a question.
You said your conservatives were like our liberals. So
Yeah,
I'm wondering what the hell are your liberals like?
slimy.
Slimy.
They like to steal money from the people.
Just do your research on our politics. You'll learn soon enough, man.
So do I. Maybe I should be a politician.
Well, guess what? Our conservatives and liberals are slimy.
Well, hey, guess what,
That's why I'm
troll?
voting
You're a troll. You
NDP.
can easily be a liberal around here.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead, try running. See what happens.
Green can hear. It's a miracle.
Yeah, how's everybody doing? Can you guys hear me?
What's up, Frank?
Hello.
Well,
I can hear you.
I hear you, Frank.
Walaikum salam. How you doing?
Yeah.
I have been having a similar issue with coming into Hangouts. I get no audio, and sometimes if I just wait, there's like a lag, but people are greeting me and I don't even know it.
Have you been doing like this YouTube glitch, man?
Yeah.
There's like this YouTube glitch where you try to play a video, and what happens is it just plays the sound. You ever had that?
Mm-mm.
That's what happened to me quite a few times. Like I'll try trying to play a video or even like a hangout, just play it after it's already live, and I'll just hear audio and I can't see anything.
So the screen is black, or is it
It's
just
really
like
weird.
the first frame?
Hey, Bunto.
Hello.
You
Hey!
sexy. Going. Look at that.
Hey, Bunto, I gotta say, okay, remember when we were in Tommy's Hangout and you showed us a picture of you for the first time, kind of?
Yes.
All right, and I thought, nobody could believe it, and I took a snapshot of that hangout. I later before you had your hangout yesterday, where you for the first time showed your face. I showed it to Sty and a couple other people. We all agreed it was like the voice does not fucking match.
Right. The voice doesn't match.
Oh
And
man,
I'm like, I
I did
shared the
not
video.
picture
I'm
you
like,
as
here it is, Sty. Here it is. This is our boy Bunto.
The Indian.
I did not
Now,
expect
is
you to
it
look like
Bunto or
that.
Bunto?
But
Bunto.
Bunto.
Like Bunt.
Bunto,
I've been saying
spoke much
Bunto.
better than you did.
Oh, I don't care. People say
before.
Bunto, Bunto.
Blunto.
So anyway, I got a webcam finally, as per request.
Yay.
And then,
Show your hair.
oh, it's black.
I want to see how long it's getting.
Well, it's not getting that long.
Lame.
I know. Thank you, honey. Let me see. It's about this long. Give me about to the end of September, then you'll think I'm looking real Native American.
Okay.
But oh man, that was something like nothing like doing 40 minutes with no audio, and then Brojo puts in the outside chat no audio, and it's like, oh.
And I was having audio issues, so I thought it was me. I'm like refreshing, and then finally I go check. Let me go see another hangout. Comes on right away. I said, it's Bunto. It's probably got something to do with his getting the new camera and
Right,
trying to
the new
figure it
camera
all out.
disconnected
Yeah,
the mouse.
Oh man,
yeah.
I didn't even know that was happening, man. I feel sorry for you. You did like 40 minutes with no audio now.
Oh shoot. Anyway, so I did that.
Thought it was a troll at first.
Right, the troll.
You were just throwing up some guy there talking on the video. Here's me. See?
Oh shit. No, but I had to redo the front. I just wanted to lay down why I started losing weight. But you know, The last part of yesterday's hangout, we can keep that. Definitely.
Cool.
I guess I could take that, YouTube video editor and like hook up these two videos. I don't know if I'll be that adventurous. Have you guys ever done that? Like splice some videos together?
Not to YouTube editor.
Not with the YouTube editor, man.
I've done
Yeah, I know.
Movie Maker.
Maybe it's too much trouble to do.
Sony Vegas Pro, that's where it's at. Get that program.
Don't be lazy. Go
Is
and
that only with Mac, or is that you can use that with Windows?
That works with Windows.
Oh yeah.
Shoot, I don't have a Mac. I'm not a Mac person at all.
Yeah, I'm PC.
All
That's like a
Windows, man.
$400. It's got like a $400 program, right?
Well, what's Dusty? Isn't Dusty into like working up videos, Keefees?
I think so, yeah.
So what does he use? Is he Mac or PC?
He uses, I think he uses Windows. I think the software he uses is like Adobe something.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I use is Photoshop. Maybe Virtual Dub. So Frank, what you been up to?
Working. I've been really busy actually, so it's been hectic.
Well,
It's
academic
getting
stuff or
crazy.
professional?
Both. Just getting things situated for my academics and my job. So it's been time to organize, I guess. Yeah, but I've been extremely busy.
Wow, cool.
I'm even surprised that I'm actually talking right now
Well,
because I just came out of work.
yeah, really glad to have you.
Oh, thanks.
I noticed you popped in for like a minute yesterday.
Yeah, the thing is this is the first time I ever had a smartphone. So, I don't know how to work this shit actually.
What do you
I've
have?
been
Like an iPhone or?
Yeah, like no, like an LG phone. I don't even know what it is, but it's the first time I ever had like that type of technology in my hand.
Is it badass?
It's awesome, but
You won't go
it's
back,
getting,
Frank. You won't go
yeah,
back. It took me a while after I had the little fucking flip phone, and I'm like, all right, get the little upgrade. I really don't need the other shit. You start using the other shit, and you're like,
I was actually forced to get this because the phone company that I had was because you were not going to serve that type of phone, so I had to bring it back to the store, and they gave me this, and I'm like, holy crap. So I'm like refusing to let go of my old things.
Oh yeah, I still use flip phone.
Yeah, my mom's boyfriend has a flip phone. My mom has a flip phone. They're more durable than my phone. All those old people like Bunto, my mom,
Old.
my stepdad. They use the flip
Crawling.
phone.
Frank still works with his Walkman.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
This guy.
What?
I still have a CD Walkman.
Oh no, I thought cassette. I thought you were saying cassette.
No, cassette. I wish I had that, man.
Really? Do you?
But nobody
Go
has.
anyways.
Nobody sells cassettes anymore. That's messed up, man.
8-track. Okay, so Frank, when's your next hangout?
Towards the end of the month, I'm gonna have another hangout.
Okay,
Towards the
drugs or
end.
dreaming? Which one?
Uh, why not both?
Right now.
Yeah, it's gonna be about drugs, of course, and
Yeah, you
then
have a
after
couple
that,
good hangouts there, and then all of a sudden, yeah, you got busy,
I got really busy. I have a family to support.
How dare you?
It takes a lot of your time, man. Having kids and all this stuff, it just takes a lot of time.
Okay, the last drug hangout, was there a lot of hits? A lot of views?
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't really try to aim for high views, but I think the last one I did make it public, and I had a lot of people come in. I think the after hangouts are better. I think with live hangouts, I think with live hangouts, people are more reserved. As soon as I hit that off button, oh man, all this shit starts coming out, man. It's freaking hilarious.
Right.
Yeah, that's why I think I'm planning maybe an hour live, and probably the rest of the night will be just, everybody's chilling, everybody's
Well,
relaxed.
what do you think of our live show, man?
I was hearing it for a bit, then I got phone calls.
Breaking up, bro.
Yeah, it sounds like bandwidth problems.
Yeah, what's going on?
Let me fix it.
Okay. What did anybody else think of the show? I want to know if anybody actually learned something or not.
Well, with experience, you'll grow to not worry about that so much, Keefees. It's more like the entertainment value, right? Hey, Lush.
Is that you, Bunto?
Hello, honey.
Hi, I see you.
Headless. How are you doing?
All right.
Just like I
Oh
pictured
my
you.
god.
Hey, Lucia. So, how did your hangout go yesterday?
My hangout. That was just I just opened it because I was the first one. Like it was like me or Jello or whatever. It's not my hangout. it was so the fucking Yana with her fucking blocking and.
Yeah, I know the blocking. We were talking a bit about blocking the other day, right, Trolling? About what's the point of it? I don't know if I was talking with Trolling with somebody about the blocking craze.
Well,
She's got me blocked.
blocked
Yeah,
you.
we were
It wasn't
talking
I that
about
blocked
that.
you. It was Mark Seidel.
Yeah, I didn't know how I pissed him off. I thought,
Well, he didn't think it was him, and then he looked and he goes, "Oh, it is me." But the problem was that Yana had blocked Mark earlier in the hangout, so because I told him maybe he should refresh, and then it will take because he unblocked you, and then
right.
he said refresh, but he couldn't. If he refreshed and left the hangout, he couldn't come back in because Yana had blocked him.
I mean, okay, do you guys think this is silly? Like, if you block somebody, maybe like a dialogue pops up where it says you put down the reason of why you blocked that person, just so they know.
I think that you shouldn't have the right in a hangout to do that because it's just even a private one, like it's just a mess, I had to tell Yana, okay, if you're gonna block Mark, then when he talks, you can't talk. You just have to shut up.
Right.
I get blocked a lot. I have no idea why though.
I know. I have no idea why I got blocked.
Why would you want to block me for?
Oh man.
Everybody and their egos, right?
I can see you want to block somebody from your page and in your presence. And you do that after the hangout, right?
No, you can block people in a hangout, especially if someone really pisses you off or offends you.
Man.
But then you should leave the hangout.
And was mean to me for no fucking reason. He deserved that motherfucker block.
Well, I think that the kicking functionality is pretty useful, but yeah, the blocking.
Yeah, but in a private hangout, you can't kick people. That was the problem. I would have kicked her.
I see. Well, you can set it for some time in the future and then never broadcast and still have all the tools.
Well, you can also, if more than 3 people, I think, or 3 people ignore a person in the hangout, then they're automatically kicked.
Right.
But, yeah, I couldn't get a consensus to kick Yana, so she was there first. Anyways, it's just a fucking mess.
Yeah, Yana blocked me in one hangout for some reason.
Yeah, and she, I was surprised. I told her, when you said you couldn't get in Bunto, I was like, Yana, unblock Bunto now. Do it now.
Forget that shit.
She does entertain me, though.
So, hey, Muskie, how you doing?
Not bad, Bunto. How's it going, man?
Pretty good. Okay, I watched Finlarg's video.
Did you?
Well, the one about the vegetarian?
The fucking vegan shit? Fuck.
Okay, so what was the take? Your comment prompted him making that video?
Yeah, apparently. I got him fucking revved up and he went to fucking town. I was like, oh, here we go. I open up the fucking shit box that is Pandora. Oh, fuck. Oh, so much fun. Fucking vegan people to troll, man. Fuck me.
Oh, it's Finlarg, a friend. And the thing is, this Feely the Banana Girl started something. It's in the past week of veganism.
Well, she's been around forever, though.
Right. I mean, you see how many subs she has?
Yeah.
What, 300,000?
300,000. It's holy fuck. And she goes fucking psycho, and she's like, "Oh, you guys, are you fucking murdering me?"
I mean,
Fucking
I mean, you gotta admit she is pretty fucking banging. So
what?
Okay, you like the way she looks.
she looks fucking
might
great.
fuck
Yeah,
Skinny.
She ain't got much between her fucking ears, I'll tell you.
yeah, that's true. That is true. Yeah.
Fucking crazy bitch.
But she's
Whoa,
militant.
whoa, wait, what happened recently? So,
She
she,
did a fucking anti-vegan video, or
Yes.
a vegan video where she basically is like, kill all meat eaters, they're fucking murdering pricks. Like, oh my god, fuck.
well, there was also that other vegan. She got branded. They like put a hot iron on it. Excuse me, a hot iron on her side.
No way.
Oh yeah, they took a video of it and everything. You know.
What's it feel to
Here in
be
America?
Yeah. I could
Oh,
probably
that's
find it.
conviction.
Wow.
Actually, the interesting thing is that
What is she, a masochist? Like, fuck.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
well, the interesting thing is that they actually didn't do it right. They didn't do it enough because it puffed up. If you don't actually burn it, it'll like puff up really crazy. So you actually have to like really smush it in there.
Okay, the only people I knew that branded were the fraternities in college. You guys know the
Right.
black fraternity?
Yeah, you have to
Really,
have
I hadn't heard about that.
Yeah,
Really?
you have
The only fucking branding I ever experienced was doing fucking hot knives, and they fucking slipped and hit my lips.
Boom.
Now that's being fucking branded.
Oh my god. Anyway, to dovetail back to the Feely girl, she put out like another video after that all men should get vasectomies. I mean, so she knew she was like on the upward trajectory as far as.
What? Was she wearing like a Kill All Men T-shirt?
No, I mean I just saw the YouTube.
There's a really creepy girl on YouTube that has this whole movement about like.
Yeah, antinatalism. Okay,
No,
what do you guys?
no, that's not. She's worse. What's her name?
Not Fiora.
No. It's a YouTube, and she has a videos up. You know, she talks about her plan to get rid of all men. First, they'll give them vasectomies, and it's just long and drawn out, and she's really, really
I remember who you're talking about, but I can't pull her fucking name out of my head right now.
God, is this like a neo dork in here?
I don't know.
Like
All I know is
Like
Imendem,
Andrew Dworkin?
the Imendem guy, and then his Fiora sidekick.
Yeah, but that's antinatalism. This is not about antinatalism. This is a whole. Oh, she's really pretty and cute, and but what she's saying is creepy.
Oh well, there was that one chick that she thanked God for the tsunami in Japan because they're not Christians.
No, that was a pony. That was a pony, everybody. That was a fake.
Oh, that was a fake?
Yeah,
oh,
she
okay.
apologized like a week later because everybody thought it was serious, and they
okay.
down on her. But yeah, she was faking it. But the idea that you would think that's funny, like that, is also a bad taste.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys ready to go vegetarian or not?
No.
I'd go and be an emptophile first before I was a vegetarian.
What's
That's bug eating, actually.
Oh my god.
It's actually well actually one of the things with bugs is that they actually have the highest conversion factor where the the amount of pounds of vegetable matter that they converted to protein and fat is actually the highest out of any other type of species of animal or bug or edible stuff. So it's actually
who eats bugs? The Asians and the Africans, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I mean it's more of a cultural taboo here. But if I had to get my protein somehow, then
if I was hungry enough, I'd eat bugs.
But I mean, there's other things that actually, like escargot, right? That's a bug.
Snails, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, and escargot's delicious too. I mean, it's like buttery, garlicky mushrooms. It's really good.
God, I haven't had it.
Oh, it's really good. Yeah, it's mushrooms. It's like buttery, garlicky mushrooms.
Crayfish and shrimp, those are bugs.
Those are great too. Yeah.
Lobster, I guess, is a bug.
Could be. Eh? It's got
All
an
right.
exoskeleton, so fuck it.
Okay, what's wrong? What's wrong with going vegan and vegetarian?
Nothing.
For you.
You don't get to have any bacon.
Right.
It
Just
being
don't-
good for you is actually debated. I mean, you know, the whole low fat thing is can be actually quite dangerous. I mean, you know, one of the things that is really important, especially when you're younger, is you know, high amounts of fat because of, you know,
Yes.
your brain, your just your
You should
body.
Yeah, especially when you're young, you should get. I think personally, we probably do eat too much meat when we get older. For like, I know myself, I've even cut down on my meat,
Red meat.
myself at my age, but just compared to what I would have eaten when I was 21. But then again, I'm not fucking doing the calisthenics and bullshit that I was when I was 21 either. So that makes a hell of a difference, right? You don't require that kind of intake. And like, you know, if you go over to a place like India, they've got different diets for every type of work or whatever you're doing. If you're a student, there's this kind of diet. If you're
really?
Yeah, oh, most definitely, and like they've had way more thought into this than all the Western cultures put together, and dietitians included, and they're for the most part, far more healthy than we are here. Like over there, diabetes, what? Just really, it does happen, but only because just recently, and because the people took on a Western-style diet that was brought to them by the English, right?
Right.
But for the most part, over in India, you don't find fat Indians. You don't find fat Hindus. They're not all vegetarian either. They do eat meat. They don't eat. A lot of them don't eat cow, but you know they eat pork. They eat chicken, and these other things. But for the most part, a lot of them are closer to vegetarian than what we are here in the West.
True.
But it's like, you know, it depends how you were raised too. Where you live on the planet. If you live up in the Arctic Circle, you don't got much of a choice. 95 to 100% of your diet is going to be meat, because that's all
Yes.
that's here. You know, whereas if you live down near the equator, you've got piles of plants and fruits and vegetables of all kinds that you can draw upon. So.
Oh, here's something kind of interesting. So, you guys know about the Faroe Islands, right?
No,
So
tell
Enlighten me.
So they're these Arctic islands that are kind of off the coast of Greenland.
Okay.
Between they're Dutch officially, you know, they're kind of owned by the Dutch, but they have their own kind of thing going on. And one of the big traditions that they have is because
I think you mean they're owned by the Danes.
Oh, the Danes.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
There's a big difference between the Danes and the Dutch.
Yeah, there is. And the
My
Dutch
mistake.
are like in the ABC Islands.
okay.
Dutch
oh,
don't own anything.
But
They
you know,
all
they
breeds.
have a very similar kind of Arctic diet that is actually very heavily based on whaling, actually. So small amounts of whaling. So they kill about a couple hundred of these rather small whales a year to survive.
Boo! Don't kill whales.
Well, I mean, these whales are extremely
Oh,
common.
they
I mean, they're not endangered in the slightest.
Yeah, they're not cute whales either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're kind of ugly.
Yeah, but so
I like whales.
there's been this massive social media craze going on to try to kind of stop these guys from continuing their, you know, survivalist traditions. Like, you know, all these people swarming in and trying to save the whales.
Yeah. They're gonna save the whales.
And I mean,
Starve while
you know,
they're
they're kind of the ultimate ideal. I mean, they're locavores to the highest extreme, essentially. I mean, they eat what they catch, pretty much. You know, right straight out of the land.
Yeah,
This is kind of
exactly.
supposed to be the environmentalist ideal, and you know, the populations of the whales is very high, and they're not endangered at all. So it's a very maintainable practice that they're doing. But they're saying, oh, but they're killing sentient beings, and et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, that's
And-
another argument that comes from India, actually, the killing of emotional beings that feel emotion or so-called sentience, right? And you're like,
Right.
I don't know if I buy that argument yet.
Right.
Show
I
me,
mean,
Show me a whale that can, write with his flipper.
No,
something.
but so I
Maybe
actually
you are
I,
actually.
so
Look,
I,
guys, the reason why people don't like these guys killing whales, they're not going out in a little boat and harpooning them. They drive them onto the beach and butcher them. It doesn't look pretty.
when
You got a bunch of dead animals.
what's your
You
point?
wind
I
up with a
mean,
bunch of
so
dead
how
animals laying
would you
around.
do it?
Well, listen, you wind up with a bunch of dead animals laying around. Everyone's standing on the beach, and the water is full of blood.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
It only takes one bucket of blood, and it'll turn that bay red. It's just like in Canada when people wanted to protest the seal clubbing.
Yeah.
You're on fucking snow.
Yeah, it looks worse than it is.
It looks worse than it is.
Yeah, but harpooning looks pretty bad too. Like that harpooning.
Yes, but you see, at least when the animal bleeds out in the water, out in the ocean, you don't have a beach stained in
But
blood.
once they get it onto the boat, it is disgusting. Like it's terrible. I mean, you have to have a camera filming it, granted, but I think the thing is that what he said earlier about it being a maintainable amount of animals, amount of whales there is the key factor. That if they maintain
it's also the type of whale they're whaling.
Yeah.
They're not whaling sperm whales and humpbacks.
Yeah, I mean that's what I'm saying. That's.
Well, and the other thing, actually, some people have actually decided to stop eating whale meat, not even just for a moral reason, but because the mercury concerns.
There you go.
Okay, there's a different reason to stop eating it.
Yeah, and some people have stopped eating it simply out of health reasons.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. That's like in Japan, the Japanese eat whale.
Yep, I was just
But
about to
I've
bring that up.
spoken to some, and it's difficult to find in stores, and the only time they ever had it, most times in their life, was in their school lunch. So it's like used as a subsidy meat.
Yeah, but and they're also hunting. I think not the same whale, but also a very rather common whale. So people's concerns about them are kind of overblown.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
What did I miss?
I think that the North.
A shilling for the whale killers, Keefees.
Oh yeah. Sorry about that, Bunto. I was away from computer for a little bit. I had to take care of some stuff. I didn't realize we were still alive.
The only thing that crossed my mind, Muskie, is like you said, because of our age. Like, I don't like to eat red meat because it's just it slows the digestion,
Yeah,
I heard red meat's really bad for you.
Just a lot. When it comes to red meat and things like that, I eat much less of it now. Like I say,
yeah, than when I was younger.
I would have eaten red meat probably maybe once a day when I was, growing up till I was in my 20s. Now I probably eat it once a week, maybe twice a week.
Yeah, and most people tend to overeat meat. Actually, I mean, literally the amount of meat that you need is about 2 patties, and most people tend to eat like quite a bit more. And so actually, you can maintain a pretty good diet off of meat and vegetables like that, where you're not overeating meat. You're eating a recommended amount of meat, and then vegetables.
The thing is too that a lot of our meat is so processed that by the time you get it, there's no food value left in it. I don't like I eat my meat. My meat is as little processed as possible, and I prefer it as fresh as I could possibly get it, because the longer something is dead, the less nutritional value it's got in it for you. Simple as that.
It also depends on what
animal product. Doesn't matter.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
I mean that's for the micronutrients. I mean, luckily the macronutrients are kind of tucked in there. The proteins.
But they only really make up for your boost calories and whatnot and the fat content, whereas those micronutrients are
important. Vital. I agree. You're right. You're right.
They're vital. They're definitely vital, I think,
Absolutely.
especially to young minds when they're growing up. They should never be deprived of enough calories, because I really think that first 5 to 10 years.
If I may mention
something in the development stage, and if they don't get a proper amount of nutrition in the first 4 years, I think 5 years, anyways, it could really detriment the rest of their life. So
you're absolutely right.
Good argument for being an omnivore, even up until you're until you're out of until you're grown up, till you're an adult.
Yeah, you're an adult.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's why I'm really so against things like bottling mixes for babies, because of just, I mean, it's okay, but it's not, it's pretty close to sugar water with some of these bottle mixes for babies.
Well, it depends if you're talking formula or you're talking bottle mixes.
Yeah.
Because formula's actually pretty. I know it's.
Well, you'd want to substitute, not completely substitute it. You'd want to supplement.
Well, there's, if the woman's not breastfeeding and whatnot, then they're going to have to depend on that, because and a lot of women have problems too with breastfeeding. Actually being able to produce enough that their child, will be healthy, and this is actually. Quite an issue with a lot of women after post pregnancy, right? So it's something like that. It's a good thing that we.
Right. But no. What I'm talking about is that some women have just gone the opposite direction. Just like literally, that's it's substituted. It's not supplemented
right off the hop. Yeah, I know, and I that's a bad thing, because the best stuff that the child will ever get comes from the mother in like the first 30 days after she was born.
Absolutely.
And it's got incredible amounts of antibodies and stuff in it that that's where it gets its mother's antibodies from, actually, is before it's born. It does not receives very little, if any, just what the genetic structure itself knows to how to reproduce. Everything else is added to it after it's born. So that first little bit of nutrition from the mother's breast and those special antibodies are so important. It just can't be replaced, even by a wet nurse, because the wet nurse has just been doing it for so long that she doesn't produce the same antibodies that a new mother does. And I know this because I'm a farmer, and I've raised I'll tell you a lot about when heifers and have calves and whatnot. That's the most important time. You make sure that calf is right tight to that mother and gets its first bit of milk. And even if you got to get more from another cow, you still do, just to make sure, because it's so important that they get that extra head start.
Okay, well, let me balance this off the participants here. Do you guys believe that we're in an autism epidemic?
No.
You don't believe it, because I sort of.
Sorry. Okay.
Okay, why don't you think we are?
I think
we are
diagnosed and more these days. There's better ways of detecting it earlier. That's one reason why it seems, because we're detecting it because it was always there, but.
Because I'll give you an anecdote. It's like I have a friend online, and she had her kid 3 years ago, and the kid is normal as heck, all the way till, I would say, starting at 2 years old, and then sure enough, autism.
Yeah,
so,
I know that.
I was just saying, it's like what Muskie was saying. It's like it's important that the child get the proper nutrition and antibodies. But I was like, is there something in our system that causes autism, you think?
Well, the biggest correlation between the chance. Oh, go ahead, Keith. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm just gonna say this because I have experience. Because I don't know if you noticed, but your boy actually has some autistic traits, and it comes from the fact that my dad actually has some autistic traits as well. And even though I didn't get the full-on autism thing, I still got a lot of different things that were wrong with me growing up. No, not Asperger's. This was autism. Asperger's is actually different. Trust me.
Absolutely, and one of the biggest things also is if you have children late. So the later you have your children, the more likely they are to become autistic.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah, that's also another thing too. Yeah. Well,
and so that might be an interesting argument for saving your sperm when you're younger. Saying hey kid, hey, you're 15 years old. We're gonna save your first sperm. That perfect stuff, right? I mean, because it's been uncorrupted by the environment, right? I mean, it's a perfect genetic, pretty much. Right?
Okay, well,
so if we got into that, I think that would be a really good effect on society, right? If we just kind of made that less of a taboo and just said hey, if we want a healthy society, we want to kind of protect the next generation from genetic damage.
The thing that was shocking to me, guys, is the kid was like normal in my mind. You know, a smiling, happy 2-year-old.
Yep.
And then it quickly happened. You know, just could not express himself. He'd flap his arms when he'd get frustrated, you know, and he just wouldn't talk. And sure enough, autism, you know. I
I
was like,
know that feeling. I used to do that back when I was little. Do the arm flapping thing. I don't do it
right.
anymore, but
So, but I was,
Yeah,
is this
I heard that's to get stimulation, right? 'Cause-
yeah, it
but-
makes you feel good. Do that
well,
when I
the
was happy.
mother wrote down, you know, I'm not talking to mother. She just puts down, you know, her blog of what was going on. And he says that's a sign of frustration. The kid can't talk, so
Really?
he has to flap his arms.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's exactly what it is.
Well, I could talk and do it. So that's a weird case.
No, he doesn't talk. He doesn't even say mama, dada, you know. He's like well into his 3 years old.
That's
How
why I
much-
said
how
I
much have
I
they
had
worked with
autistic
with the
traits
child,
rather
do you
than
know?
full-on autism.
Oh, I didn't hear that, Muskie. Could you say that?
How much did they work with the child? Like
They just started him, I'd say, in the last 6 months.
Yeah, like my oldest son is autistic, and he's now in his 20s, and so you know I've watched the whole progression right from about the same time too. He was diagnosed. He didn't get properly diagnosed till he was 7, but
Wow.
the daycare that he went to noticed something was different when he was like 2 years old or before, and I know a lot of parents always want to say, you know, oh, not my child. Oh, that's not,
Right.
you must be wrong. But it's very hard for people, as a parent, to want to accept that. But they really should take it seriously right from day one. And because, you know, they can fix a lot of this if they get
Okay.
proper help early on, therapy early on, and with you know, with a personal trainer like a PS or a PD.
Yeah.
That works with them day out, because they need one-on-one. That's what an autistic person needs, is one-on-one, because the focus thing isn't there that the rest of us take for granted.
Right.
Their time that they can focus is very short, and so
That's right.
that they have to learn to build that up, and it takes a long time. And like, you know, with my son, what helped him, I think, in part, was playing RuneScape. And you know, once he got onto that, and he got into the little clique there, you know, that it kind of helped him, because he had to work within a certain parameters that he didn't have any control over, and he had to learn to do that. And when so eventually he did. And it took time and whatnot, but like, you know, his younger sister and brother both, you know, surpassed him in the schooling aspect of things.
Right.
You know, like, you know, going through school, just because this held him back, this learning, almost like a learning disability, but it's not. It's just like, you know, he can figure some things out wicked fast, but other things like social cues, doesn't read body language. Does not clue into body language. And
you also got to remember it's on a spectrum, right? I mean, just from my experience, you may say, wait, your boy Keefee don't have autism because he can talk and stuff. Well, the thing is, there's actually like the high functioning autism
That's right.
shit.
That's
so I
right.
could actually still talk and everything, and I had very few autistic traits. Then you get to other people that have autism, it's like they can barely speak and function and all that.
And well, yes, and I often wonder too, you know, is it an evolutionary thing? Or is it because that we've just started to diagnose it and actually recognize it in our society, whereas years ago we would have said, you know, the kid's just a slow learner and dusted off to that.
Yeah, I know
now
what you mean.
we actually have a definition for it, and we say, this is autism. And because autism is such a huge umbrella that it's underneath.
Exactly, like me, I just have like
It's a vast thing. It can mean many things to many different people. Like as we said earlier, someone said Asperger's. Well, that's not the same thing. But
No, it's not.
even though it shares certain commonalities, it's not the same thing as autism. And so there's a lot of discussion that's got to be had about it, really, to get people to understand.
Like, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't Asperger's more directed towards like social interactions, and autism is more of the learning
Yes,
thing?
well,
I can socialize like no problem. She was just learning stuff growing up. I was a little bit slower.
My son, his was a little bit more severe than yours. I mean, he didn't socialize like he would have 1 or 2 friends. That's it. All through school. Like we're talking the whole 12 years, whatever.
Oh, I had a lot of
1 or
friends.
2 friends, and because he just didn't make friends very well, like he can't look you in the eyes, even to this day.
Right.
He cannot look you in the eyes when we have a conversation. I used to say, "Look at me, look at me."
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can imagine.
And
That's
he'd look
exactly.
at me. He'd look me right in the eyes. And you could see him just struggling, and I'm like, just look at me. It's like, I'm not going to freak out here or nothing. Like, what's the problem? Like, why can't you look at me in the eyes when you're talking to me? And it was frustrating for me too because this is my first son. Hey, there is no such book as the book of parenting. We got lots of people who wrote books on parenting. Most of them didn't know shit. We're just, especially people who write on parenting that never had kids. That one always killed me. Like
Well, it's also a confusing condition to work with because you got guys that can, in my situation, it's like at an early age, it's like, oh, I can grasp quantum mechanics, but how the fuck do you tie your shoe? You know what I mean?
Well, that's another thing too, right? Certain things that are so simple that we take for granted, for them can be very difficult. Whereas, other things that we think is like way out there, they just go, oh, that's no. Like my son can type at a speed that blows. Like, man, there's no way I can even think to get up to that. Not even close. It's just because he plays gaming online with a laptop.
Just a quick interjection, Muskie. Okay, did it ever cross your mind that he caught autism, or in your mind that was he born with autism?
I think it's a bit of. I think he was probably born that way, to be honest with you.
Okay, but did you ever feel like he caught it? It's like he was so normal, and then this happened.
Actually, I did look at it that way, but I found out after it's because of my perception at the time, and
right.
Like there are certain things that I guess refuse to admit to myself, especially like this is my firstborn, this is my son, you're a proud pop of the whole 9 yards, and he seemed quite what I would think to be as normal up until a year and a half or so. But he had he walked funny. He had like one foot that was kind of always kinked in a little, like turned a little bit.
Right, and the hips kind of out a little bit too.
Yeah, actually, and I don't walk like this. Your mother doesn't walk like this, and you would think you're learning to walk from us because we're the only people he sees walking at that young in his life. Right. So the people he's trying to copy are us, or maybe his grandfather or grandmother who were around at the time, and so you think about these things, you go, like, why is this, right? And everything else seemed quite what we thought to be normal. But then as he got to be 2 and 2.5, and, even then, that's when we started to have the conversations with the people at the daycare. And they're like, you might want to look into things and
take it to a specialist.
Yeah, take him to a specialist, right? And I was fucking really offended. I got to be honest. I know I was.
Yeah.
This is my son you're talking about. What the fuck you mean he's fucking? You tell me he's fucked up, and like you take it, but it's not the way I should have taken it. But it's when you're young,
right?
Blah blah blah.
Yeah, but plus, like I would imagine, autism was not that prevalent like as it is now.
It wasn't as common in 1995 as it is today. Yeah, it was just starting to be really pronounced.
That's gotta be heartbreaking.
Diagnosed for in that era, actually. And
especially because they seem like they may be a little bit off, but they seem like just normal kids until they're about 2, and then that change happens.
Did you ever take medication?
No Keefees?
Oh, it's Keefees? Yeah. I wondered, did Keefees have to take medication going through school, or like my son?
No, what happened is okay, I don't know what happened quite, but I started off like, really bad, right? But after each year and year, I kind of just got progressively better to the point where it's like, now, when I just talk to people, no one knows I got any autistic traits or nothing.
Right.
Like, obviously, I still notice little things about myself.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Very well. Are going to be able to.
Well, that's how you learn, too, right? You had to observe yourself.
Just casually talking to other people, they're not going to know. So it got to the point where it doesn't really interfere with my life that much. It's just like, people will hang out with me and then they observe me a bit. You're like, oh, that's weird. I wonder why he does that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well,
But
the first thing
but
that
then
jumped in the
the
mind,
first
Keefees,
thing
was
that
the
they're gonna
voice.
think is this.
Yeah. The voice does do it for you, doesn't it? Yeah.
Poor Keefees.
You know, with the Asperger's, 'cause I knew a guy very well that had Asperger's, and the one thing that's key to like understanding Asperger's, is they say they have like you said, it was social interaction. That's exactly it. They have like face blindness, so they are not able to read people's face. They don't. They cannot read people's emotions, intonation of the words, and they just never seem to understand the what they but people meant by what they said. You know, and it's called face blindness. They can't read the emotion in other people's faces, and it's and yeah, that's it is quite different than autism. Yeah, I hear a lot of people say it's a spectrum from autism to Asperger's, and that's not it.
Okay. Because I thought it was, they was
Actually,
associated.
my son actually exhibited, and he was diagnosed autistic, but he exhibited signs that are common to Asperger's, like that exactly, like you just
Yeah,
described.
I mean, they have things in common, but really they have to the problems like that need to be dealt with are different. Like, yeah.
Oh yes, that I'm not disagreeing, but it all kind of stems from the same place, and that's upstairs in the gray
Yeah,
matter, right?
yeah, but it's a shame. Like it's so young with autism,
Yeah.
and so you know, so I watched a documentary years ago. I don't think they hold this view anymore, but they said it was maybe it was a long time ago, like in the 80s, that maybe it was akin. They were thinking it's akin to something. So when you get schizophrenia, it usually comes in your teenage years, or sometime in your 20s. But you know, but definitely it rarely comes before teenage years. And so you have this 15 years of socialization. Whereas like with autism, like, it's like having a schizophrenia when you are 2 years old, and
I
then you
know.
have no socialization, and you have no nothing to fall back on, right? You don't know, you haven't learned anything yet, and now you have this mental illness,
Well,
and
it's
that's
funny
why
you
it's
should
hard to
mention that because I
adjust
also
that.
got I got like a family history of like schizo stuff too. So on my dad's side at
Curious.
least.
That's a haunting idea, though. Like,
Yeah, I know.
But just
yeah.
to go back what Muskie was saying, there's some, the boy's name is Liam, and it's like Muskie, he can watch that Frozen movie over and over and over again, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
My
somebody
God.
in front of him, he won't even notice. He won't
Yeah.
notice somebody in front of him. And that was the first tip off. It was like, maybe something's going on with Liam,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
But you can hear,
I thought
Bunto, that
that
you have
too.
the story is common, like what you said. I know it's shocking, but that's what it is. You know, they usually like I was said that they walk funny or there's some kind of signs, and little signs that you only see later. But yeah, that's why it's so heartbreaking, because all of a sudden you're a happy kid, or you're just now somebody else. I can't imagine.
Well, let me ask you this, Muskie. I mean, did he stay in diapers for a long time? Because Liam's still in diapers.
He was in diapers till he was almost 3, I guess, 2.5 probably.
And then you managed to potty train him?
Yeah, yeah. My wife worked with him. I would have done it even quicker, because the quickest way to potty train a child is to not ever put a diaper on them
Interesting.
and let them walk around. Yes, you might clean up shit for a week or so around your house, but eventually they learn even much quicker. I've seen this in places
Like
like,
on that. My daughter
Yeah,
liked to walk around
it's
like
like it's like a dog kind of, right? Like
that. Yeah.
yeah, well, it's naturally, walking around on the savannah, it would have been no different. You wouldn't have had to, and you wind up being much more learning about being hygienic about yourself much sooner in life than you would if you were put into diapers and whatnot. And but I only learned this after I had kids, right? So unfortunately.
No, I meant the whole picking up the shit thing.
Well, you're gonna have to do a lot more than that if you're gonna be putting them in diapers for a lot
Right?
longer.
Yeah, you're absolutely
Do you do a week and a half or 2 weeks of shit picking up, or 2.5 or 3 years of it?
every
no,
day.
here's one interesting thing that I did when I was a kid. I actually invented a bit of my own language. It's actually called an inglossia, if you've ever heard of that.
I've heard of the inventing your own language thing. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It's also like known as twin speak. So like twins will invent their own language. But yeah, I remember. And it also happens very commonly when you're in a bilingual family. So obviously, my first language was Lithuanian. Well, not obviously, but so the language I created was kind of a corrupted Lithuanian, where I just went around kind of naming things.
That's like Adam.
Adam who? Oh, Adam.
Adam and Eve, like Adam, like calling animals.
That's really funny. You're right. Yeah, that is funny. Yes.
It's not funny if I had to explain it. Sorry.
Yeah, I know. I didn't want to learn the names other people were using. I just wanted to name them. It was good for me.
That's like genius, right? It's.
No, it's pretty common with bilingual families. My sisters didn't do it. It was just me. It was my own little private language, and my mom made like a little translation book too.
Nice.
Wow.
Plenty
Yeah.
of
No, I
time.
feel. Excuse me.
Plenty of time on her hands.
Well, she was my mom. I mean, she was a stay-at-home mom, so.
She, my mother would have corrected that right off the bat. She would have.
Really? Oh, I don't know. My mom thought it was great. I mean,
Yeah, I would have thought it was great. I would have done that, like translation book.
Yeah, I mean, I've never seen it. I mean, because obviously I stopped doing all that, and then didn't ever realize that she was doing it, and then she told me once, and I'm like, oh, and I haven't seen it yet. It'd be kind of interesting.
Like the real world setting.
And obviously it's probably no surprise that now I like design programming languages. So
Yeah.
There you go, right?
All right, Beck. Well, okay, just to dovetail it back to the meta, which was nutrition. Okay. Would there be any benefit for young people to start off vegetarian and then work themselves to omnivore, or just have a balanced diet right off the bat?
Yeah, vegetarian, not vegan, right?
Well, I mean,
why would you?
The only reason, well, okay, apparently something's going on with our environment with autism. See what I mean? That's where that thinking comes from.
I mean, I think its diagnosis is better. Right.
Right. Okay. The diagnosis is more expansive too.
Right.
I don't know. Just a thought. Wonder if there's any validity. Okay. What I'm trying to do is is there any validity to the Banana Girl's position?
I don't know what she says. What does she say?
Well, either go vegetarian or.
Well, with the autism thing, I mean, the autism thing too. I mean, it could also be effect of the fact that we don't have strong selection pressures anymore, right? So someone who was slightly autistic would probably be more likely to be like caught by a lion or something. Now there's none of that selection pressure anymore, so those genes kind of propagate.
That's interesting too. Yeah.
I didn't think of that one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, we're not ready to jump on the vegetarian bandwagon. Right?
Veganism is just like neurotic.
Yeah, it is.
It's political.
Yeah. Compulsive, obsessive bullshit.
Well, for most people that I've talked to, it seems to be an animal rights thing. I mean, I'd be interested in the health aspects, but the more I looked into veganism, the more I realized how unhealthy it is actually in quite many ways.
Okay, you need to get protein through meat.
Well, no, that's not the biggest. No, that's not the biggest problem. I mean, one of the biggest problems is B12 and also just the low fat part of it, as well as the nutrition density. So the nutrition density of a vegan diet is very low. So you're eating a lot of filler for like good stuff. So there's quite a few things that are kind of. And all of them are kind of amenable. So, like, the fats, you can eat a lot of avocados, but you have to be careful because I don't think, there's certain types of lipids that you can't get from avocados, so you need to, like, diversify. Same thing with amino acids. Not all plants have all the quinoa has all of the necessary amino acids, but not in the percentages that are that you would need. So there's all this kind of juggling when it could just be really simple. You get a hand-sized piece of meat and a nice big salad, and there you go.
Okay, how about this? How long would a all-vegetarian fast food restaurant last here in the Americas?
Ooh,
About a year?
Well, I mean, a lot of vegetarians that I know are really could be better called carbitarians. So you never know. It could work pretty well.
Like rice?
Well, yeah, bread. Because carbs are energy dense. They're not really nutritionally or like vitamin and mineral dense, but they are calorie dense. And it's easy. I mean, bread, right? If you have a rice cooker.
Could a vegetarian figure out something to compete with a Big Mac?
Well,
you mean you mean for the standard American palate?
Okay, yeah. How about putting it that way? Sure. I mean, anything that's as sexy as... Is there anything vegetarian that's as sexy as a Big Mac?
I mean, think of how finely crafted a Big Mac is in terms... I mean, they've spent years and years doing, very minute, A/B testing where they do the consumer product testing, like which one of these two Big Macs.
For a Big Mac, I don't think so. A Big Mac's been around for a while, but the thing
I know, but not to say that they don't tweak it, right? Like some people might like it, in some places the sauce may be a little bit more zesty, right, on average. So they'll do that kind of stuff, right?
Okay, what kicks the vegetarian in the ass is that their food isn't sexy, right? It's just vegetables.
What kicks the vegetarians in the ass is the fact that food
I don't know.
tastes gross. It's veggies.
When it comes to vegetables, you've got shitloads of variety.
Okay.
Yeah, I like vegetables.
With meat, not so much. It's usually beef, pork, chicken. If you're Jewish, you'll eat a little bit of lamb, I suppose.
Oh hell no! I'm not Jewish, and I love lamb.
I love lamb myself. I'm an omnivore, man. But myself, I find I eat very seasonal. Which, like in the summer and whatnot, when you've got lots of green stuff available to you, and this is how I've always eaten, actually, is in the summertime, that's when you get all your salads, and for the most part of that's when you get your salad, because you've got green lettuce and all those kind of things. It wasn't until literally the last 25 years that we've had greens that are available all year round in the grocery store. It just didn't happen here.
Well, there is kale. Kale will last you through the winter.
Well, see, in place of kale, what we would be having would be a root salad that had potatoes, onions, squash, turnips, things like that, roots, tubers, and stuff that kept for a long time over winter.
Right.
And then so you would eat that kind of thing all winter long with more meat.
Beets and radishes.
In the fall, that's when you knock down your beef or your pork, and so you're going to eat more meat throughout the winter months. But then that's going to wean off by the time next spring comes around. You're going to be glad to go fishing a couple of days through the ice to get some different types of protein, because like up here in Canada, there's only so much fucking moose a guy can stomach, and then eventually you gotta go and get yourself some bacon, right?
Right.
So.
Okay, so a vegetarian couldn't go toe-to-toe with McDonald's and Whoppers? Or maybe...
Not Whopper. Not the Big Mac, I don't think they could, no.
That's unfortunate. I mean, it's healthier eating, but they just can't...
Well, if you ever... Like falafels, there's something that comes from the Hindu Valley, too. And, they're awesome. I like the ones that they use meat in, but traditionally they don't have meat.
Right.
Chickpeas and lentils and all kinds of shit mixed up with lots of spices.
You guys remember when Wendy's just took it upon themselves to put it to Big Macs and Whoppers, right? When Wendy's said, "Where's the beef?" Right?
That was Dave's doing.
That's right. Okay, I think if a vegetarian, they have to have the same type of balls, Yeah. If they wanted to take on the fast food industry here in America.
If they were smart, they would just go up to the Shaolin priests, because they're all vegetarian. They don't eat meat.
But I didn't know.
Use them as advertising agents.
Right.
Vegetarians vegetarian doesn't necessarily mean healthier. I mean, there's vegetarian junk food. I can give you a slice of strawberry cheese. Well, not cheesecake, but strawberry cake.
Oh,
And that's
yeah.
that's not only vegetarian. I could even make it vegan, right? But
Oh, yeah.
it's
Yeah.
not. It's still not healthy.
Yeah. Sugar.
It's healthy. It's It's healthier because you're probably using like almonds. And, well, no, you can use wheat. I mean, that's kind of more.
There's a diet out there called the white diet, and it's probably one of the best ones I've ever seen. If you want to lose weight, and and still actually eat nutritiously,
Right.
anything that's white, don't eat it. Don't eat rice. Don't eat pasta. Don't eat potatoes. Don't eat bread. Don't eat sugar at all. And if you eliminate just that out of your diet and fill it up with vegetables, and you can eat as much meat and vegetables as you want.
Well, that's almost like the Atkins diet, pretty much.
It's very close. It's very close.
That's very
the
similar
diet's
to.
Just got a lot more fish and stuff in it, but
right.
Have a well-balanced diet of meat and just meat and vegetables strictly.
Well, people overcomplicate diets. I mean, I actually have something very similar to that. It's a very, very extremely simple diet. It's half vegetables, half meat, and that's it. You can't get any simpler than that, and that's what we've been surviving on for millennium.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I always point to the vegan, like I said, like look at our fucking teeth. Like you don't get chisel point teeth by being a fucking vegetable eater.
Yeah.
Right.
It takes like a long time to get your teeth to be that way, and they don't just change in a couple of generations.
The length of our guts and everything.
Yep, there's another thing too, right?
Yeah, we don't have 4 stomachs like a cow.
And the fact that our appendix is so small now as compared to what it used to be. That's why
I've heard even though it's very small, some people there's been some more research done, and some people say that it's still rather vital, and you wouldn't want to be cutting it out unless you're having like very serious
appendicitis or something, or chronic appendicitis. Yeah, sure. I've still got mine. I wouldn't suggest never cutting any body part away.
Cutting. Yeah, like active leader Jolie cutting her tits off.
Well, that's.
Was that Angela?
She had that was prophylactic against getting cancer. Yes.
Well, yeah, you got to cut your tits off then. That just sucks.
No. But it was. She didn't even have cancer.
Yeah, it was prophylactic against cancer. Yeah. He had all the traits for it.
Well, but she didn't have it, right?
The thing is, you have the traits. It's better to be a prophylactic because when you do acquire it, isn't that the #1 killer of cancer for women?
Yeah, right across the board, breast cancer.
Well, right, but if I remember correctly, I mean, still, if you catch it early, it's better than.
That's why I feel my way every day to make sure
that it wasn't it she only had like something like sorry, I'm cutting you off, like a 30% chance, even with her genetics.
I'll say it was a tough decision, obviously, especially when you realize that she was an international star, a sexy star who probably banked off her bosom, right? Yeah. Right. So I mean, I don't blame her for what she did.
Well, no, she showed her tits in Hackers.
So, but I mean, as far as probably making the choice,
I think that was actually her beginning role was one of her beginning roles was Hackers. God, that movie is
somewhere. Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
That movie is so cheesy, but it's wonderful.
Truly. Well, I just want to say I want to thank all our participants for a great redo nutritional hangout, and I hope you all have a great week. Take care.